Back on the mic with DJ Silvermyth and Metal Punk and Radio Talk with Silvermyth In The Dark podcast. Installment number 38 of the podcast brings a visit from San Diego, USA-based heavy metal band Tzimani. We are also going to stream up and visit a few tracks, a few tunes from the self-titled album. Also you will hear a new tune from Pile of Priests. And you will hear the band Lost Legacy, so stay tuned in for this metal and punk heavy metal podcast. The podcast can be followed at rgm-hallofheroes.com. You can like the podcast at facebook.com/metal.heroes666. And you can tweet with the podcast at twitter.com/radiogodmode. Question number 1 for USA San Diego-based heavy metal band Tzimani. Question number 1. Tell the listeners about the band. What inspired you to start? Who are the members? And how did the band come to life?
Hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm the drummer and one of the members in the heavy metal band Tzimani. We are a San Diego-based heavy metal band that primarily, plays a lot of the stuff harken to the 80s. We've been around for about 3 years, and the other founding member of the band and also lead guitar player and vocal is my brother, Eddie Vasquez. We've been in this band for about 3 years now, and we've always been musical people. We've always played in bands together. So when my brother and I left our old band about late 2016, we took a pretty small hiatus from music. We just kind of hung out, got into other hobbies, spent times with our partners. And, about 6 months later, early 2017, my brother, hit me up. He's like, "Hey, let's try to do something together." I have some song ideas floating around. Maybe we could put it together and see if we could start another band. And, early 2017, I wasn't doing much musically, so I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Let's do this." And by the end of that year, we were a touring heavy metal band.
What are your strides and drives during music creation? What sort of music do you like to portray? And what do you look for in good lyrics?
I'll try to answer this one to the best of my ability. I'm not the primary songwriter for the band. I just kind of, when Eddie presents to me some songs, I'll add a little bit of a drummer's flair to it. But most of the time, I know for when my brother, when he sits down in the music writing process, he kind of likes to put everything start to finish together. In a slow process that kind of gives them time to orchestrate, what the lead guitar part's going to do, what the rhythm guitar part's going to do, how he's going to match those with vocals, what's the rhythm section going to be holding down, and then he'll present the song to me, and in a guitar profile, which is a pretty cool little program that almost everybody uses that I know puts music together, and I'll look over it, I'll practice along to the song, memorize the song, and then I'll start learning my bit. But most of the time, he just sits down, orchestrates it, and presents it to me, and we start collaborating that way. In terms of songwriting and how lyrics are approached, I know Eddie, I speak for him on this one because he wrote all the songs on the EP, but I know he likes to come from a more relatable side of music, kind of write about things that troubled him or he wanted to kind of raise awareness about, so a lot of the songs on the EP are something that a lot of people can relate to, and it's the kind of stuff that we like to listen for as well as musicians. We appreciate that kind of art form, and we respect all artists that try to come from a more relatable personal side of things. That doesn't mean that we knock on bands that write fiction related songs or from that approach. It's just something that we haven't done before, and but maybe it's something that we'll do in the future. Who knows?
Tell the listeners a bit about your fans. What type of people are they, and how do they respond to the band?
Oh man, I love our fans. They are some of the most down to earth people we've ever met. A lot of stories. For some reason, we get a lot of people that tell us their life stories, and maybe just because we like to listen to them and spend time at the merch booth after our shows, before our shows, and kind of get to know everybody, because we don't get to tour very often, at least for right now. So when we do, we like to spend time with the fans, and they're prototypical heavy metal hard rocking people. People that collect records at home, spin their CDs and buy merch. The types of people that support independent heavy metal, underground heavy metal. The stuff that's not on the radio, the stuff that you got to kind of actively seek out and look for. A lot of people that go to the local scene, musicians from the local scene, they also come and support us. And the underground circuit's pretty low key, at least for the kind of music that we play right now. And a lot of the times the shows that we play are anywhere between 10 people to 100 people. And so 10 to 15 people is pretty common for some of the shows, especially places that we've never played there before. Maybe it's like a Monday or Tuesday night. But we hope when we hit that area back again, maybe it doubles. But you got to build the scene, and the kind of people that are there are the most down to earth people you'll ever meet, and that's the kind of fans that we have right now at this point. But if you're out there, say hello.
What has the band been up to lately in form of gigs, music creation, as well as band members' spare time?
Yeah, so just like with every other band in the industry, we had a pretty big tour that was supposed to be running like right now through the end of April. Technically, we were supposed to be in West Virginia right now playing a show with our good buddies and Knights of the Forge. But shout out to Samuel Schaefer for hooking us up. But yeah, so the coronavirus canceled our tour. It was going to be basically to promote our expanded edition reissue of our self-titled EP that we put back out in 2018. We ended up signing a deal with Diabolic Might Records, and they offered us a vinyl pressing for the European market, and part of that deal was to kind of fluff out a side B, and so we decided to put out an unpublished 2019 single that was originally released through the Metal Assault Records mixtape. And we also did 2 cover songs, a cover song of Dr. Rochter by the band Wasp, and the other cover song was Night People by Dio. And we included our 2017 demo as well, so we kind of repackaged the EP for a lot of the fans that we have now to kind of give them something extra to listen to before we release our next album. But we try to use this tour to kind of find a new audience. So this was kind of presenting all of our recorded material in one package. And so right now we're in studio writing mode. We're rehearsing together, playing. We're even jamming some cover songs just for fun. A lot of Queensryche. So it's been fun, just kind of getting back into playing shape and getting back into songwriting mode. So just like with every other band right now that's out there, probably recording and songwriting. So our spare time, we've both been kind of at home, given the social distancing orders and whatnot. So just staying home right now, keeping it mellow, and kind of waiting out to see where it goes so we can get back into the touring circuit and playing our music.
We are now going to stream up Tzimani and the track Get Me Out of Here. Stay tuned in. Tzimani with the tune Get Me Out of Here from the self-titled album. Which is the band's greatest concert/gig endeavor?
Some of the bigger shows that we've played, at least some of our favorite shows, and it kind of works with the greatest concert question. We did get to play at Legions of Metal Festival last May. That was actually a really awesome opportunity. Give a lot of kudos to Bob Byrne and Shane out there for putting it all together and letting bands to come out from all over the world really to perform at this festival that's kind of caters more to the old school heavy metal crowd. But a lot of the endeavors that we are proud of is just booking our own tours and touring nationally. My brother got married last year and I have my first child, so we didn't get to tour a whole bunch in 2019. But we've been touring pretty much since 2017, promoting a lot of the music that we had. So as soon as the band started, we hit the ground running, and that's something that we're pretty proud of. And in the 3 years, we're pretty proud of where we are right now and excited to where the future takes hold of us.
Back on the mic with DJ Silvermyth and Tzimani, hailing from San Diego, US of A. Question number 6. Which of the songs are your favorite and why?
So I know Eddie and I have different opinions on this subject, but I know for myself and Eddie from our 2018 release, we're most fond of We Are The Ones. It's just kind of encapsulates everything that we can do as a band. It also kind of sets the stage for like where we can go on a musical level. So those are that's one of our favorite songs. I know for the self-titled expanded edition release that we're doing, that was released last Friday and will be released in July on vinyl. My brother prefers Night People, the cover from Dio, and I prefer Dr. Rocker from Wasp. And then that's we basically each chose a song that we wanted to cover and record for the expanded edition of the release. So I'm a huge Wasp fan. After running into a friend of mine named Dan, and he's based in Calgary. So we met, and he was like the biggest Wasp fan I've ever met, and he hyped me out on the band, and we listened to some Wasp records the night that we played there, and he kind of turned me on to the band, and now I'm a huge sucker for the music, and so I wanted to pay tribute to Blackie Lawless and record one of my favorite songs from the album The Crimson Idol, and the name of the song was Dr. Rocker, so we picked that song to record, and I know Eddie loves Dio. It's one of his, if not favorite heavy metal band, and he always wanted to cover that song, and when we finally came down to it, with this opportunity to reissue the album, we're like, hey, let's go for it and record the song. So
what other bands do you enjoy, and if you had to choose a favorite artist plus song, who and what tune would you choose?
I'm the kind of person that listens to music where I listen to a lot of new stuff, and stuff that I really, really like, I'll just play non-stop on repeat until I get sick of it and I burn it out. But it's something that I like to do for the music that I really, really am into. So right now I've been having in constant rotation Screamer's release, a recent release, Hall of Heroes, I believe. And they did a really good job with that record. I've been a fan of the band for a little while, and it's killer stuff. I've also been playing a lot of Skeleton Witch. I think the album Devouring Radiant Light's awesome. Like to listen to a lot of my friends' bands, listen to a lot of their music, stuff like from Canadian bands like Traveler, Riot City, Road Rash, Iron Kingdom, Gatekeeper. Those guys are all killer, and I like that kind of music. And a lot of our North American buddies too, I listen to a lot of their music. Throne of Iron just released a really great album called Adventure 1, and it was on repeat for about a week after I got it. So kudos to the guys over there for putting out a good album. But my tastes change depending on my mood. So like I said, I like to burn a lot of stuff out and then kind of refresh my rotation of a lot of new stuff and the stuff that I have in my collection. And some of my favorite albums of all time, I'm kind of like a concert not concert. I'm kind of like a concept album kind of person, and I'm a huge fan of like the albums put out by Queensryche and Wasp, Crimson Idol. Also, Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. Some of the best music I've ever written. I'm also a huge fan of King Diamond's Abigail. Got to give it up to those guys for putting out work that, you know, it's still enduring the test of time. And some of my favorite songs, you know, on the Crimson Idol by Wasp, Chainsaw Charlie, Dr. Octor, Operation Mindcrime. I mean, my favorite song on that record is The Mission, but Eyes of a Stranger is always a big hit, Breaking the Silence. And Black Horseman by King Diamond's Abigail is one of the best heavy metal songs of all time.
What are the band's plans for the future, speaking of music releases and concerts?
The future is kind of funky, you know, especially after the whole coronavirus thing, canceling our tour and pretty much shutting down the entire music industry overnight. You know, we did have some performance obligations. Like, I know in May we were supposed to play at the Fuel Fest in Irvine, California, and you know, we're still on the hook for that, but we haven't heard from any cancellations like that. We did and definitely have plans for the next release coming out, or at least getting recorded by the end of the year, or before the start of our next tour, if the fall it opens up for the touring circuit once again. We haven't released a proper release since 2018, and getting the first album out would probably be the best plans and direction for our immediate future, and continue to hit the road, touring on some other stuff, and kind of do the rinse, wash, repeat, where, you know, put out an album, play 100, 150 shows on that record internationally, and do repeat the process, you know, every 3 years.
Tzimani is on the mic with DJ Silvermyth and Metal Punk and Radio Talk with Silvermyth In The Dark podcast. They are hailing from San Diego, US of A, and is a heavy metal band. The next tune we're going to stream up with Tzimani is Night People from the self-titled album. You can check out the band at tzimani.com.
Broken, like your eyes, I never let you see them in the day.
Thank you very much, Tzimani, for answering my interview questions. If you have anything to add, feel free to do so here.
I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to sit down and answer your questions and giving us a space to promote our music. It's wonderful, and we're very thankful. We're excited about the release, and unfortunately we were unable to tour on it, but we do have plans for the fall to hopefully hit the road and we kind of rescheduled the whole tour that we canceled. We did get the rescheduled dates for both Hyperspace Metal Festival and Blades of Steel Metal Festival, so we're going to try to hook the tour around those tour dates and to see where we can go to cap off 2019. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate reaching out, and we'll hear from you soon. Thank you.
Extreme metal artist Pile of Priests are releasing their self-titled album at May the 22nd. You can check the band out at facebook.com/pileofpriests. But do that later. For now, this podcast will stream up the track Conjunction of Souls with Pile of Priests from the self-titled album releasing on the 22nd of May.
Nothing
Back on the mic with DJ Silvermyth and Silvermyth In The Dark installment number 38. You heard Pile of Priest, Conjunction of Souls from the self-titled album releasing on the 22nd of May. Next up and last out in this installment is Rules of Engagement with Lost Legacy. You can visit the band at lostlegacyny.com. This is from their album In the Name of Freedom. So check out with me the track Rules of Engagement with Lost Legacy from the album In the Name of Freedom. DJ Silvermyth thanks thee for listening to installment number 38 of Metal Punk and Radio Talk with Silvermyth In The Dark podcast. You can follow the podcast at rgm-hallofheroes.com. DJ Silvermyth is motherfucking outta here. See you soon. Ta-ta, shoo-shoo, bye-bye.